Hi guys, Peter Finch here, down with Andy Gorman at Wishaw Golf Club at the Andy Gorman Putting Studio down here. Now, we've already done lots of videos down here, so please check out the rest of the channel for those. But we're going to do a little bit of a putter review, the SeeMore putters. Now, these have been around for quite some time. Yeah. Now, I mean, obviously the player who's most famous to you is Zach Johnson, last year's Open champion. And I think probably what we'll do is just have a little bit more of an in-depth look about what these putters are actually all about. Because I think a lot of people have a vague concept of actually seeing them and actually understanding about the red dot rifle scope technology, as I've been told this morning what it's actually called.
Education's dropping.
But actually why it's there and actually what this is actually used for as well. So I've got the milled version here. So this is the FGP Tour. You've got the kind of standard.
This is the PTM one.
PTM.
Which, you know, looks like it's got a little bit of heel and toe weighting, as you can see in both of them.
Yeah.
But they've actually got quite a significant curve on the bottom, which helps them ground out, especially working on slopey greens, and helps a little bit more with regards to variable fitting. You know, so you can be a little bit less specific, really, in terms of the lie. If you've got a very flat-bottomed club, then in terms of the lie angle of the club, then you need to be very specific.
Okay.
Whereas you've got a little bit of scope to, you know, to
kind
work
of move it around.
But definitely, if you're working with slopey greens, the slightly more curved base is definitely going to work for you.
So what
it also allows us to get the optimum lie,
the actual
loft factor.
Loft and lie, kind of on that same thing.
So yeah, it's all good.
So what I'll do is I'll kind of stroke some putts away, because Andy kind of fits these putters here kind of down at the studio as well. So I'll kind of hit a few putts, give you my thoughts. But Andy, if you can just explain a little bit more about kind of the whole concept here, because I can see from this camera that I've got kind of down in front here, you might just be able to see peeking through, or just turn it around here. See that red dot and these two lines?
So the idea of the two lines is easy to frame the shaft. First thing you notice on a SeeMore putter is that there's a black section to the shaft, the bottom section, and that's basically so that it helps to be part of the framing of the shaft with those white lines.
Oh right, so this is all about alignment to the head and the shaft. And
it also makes it fairly iconic, so you know it's easy to spot.
Easy to see, yeah.
But the other fact, you know, the main factor really is that the black, and we've got other colours now available on custom order, but essentially that black shaft, and it works. The black shaft in the middle of the white lines hides the red dot.
Okay.
Now the red dot sits directly behind the shaft. You can't see it, but if your face opens up, you'll lose perspective on those white lines.
Right, okay.
You may see the visible red dot. But more importantly, during the stroke, you can also check to see whether or not. Now, every now and again, you'll see players who use these putters on the side of the green, and they will be working on their practice stroke and sort of checking to see whether or not their hands are in the right place, whether they've got the white lines framing the shaft, whether the face is sitting a little bit closed, or maybe they've got a little bit hands in front or behind. Now, just so that we, you know, get the opportunity to dispel the myth, SeeMore putters are not designed to set with your hands behind the putter and sort of push down on the stroke. Now, we know that if we look very critically at Zach's stroke, that appears to be the case. He's still hiding the red dot.
Yeah,
he's still delivering the optimum loft during the contact. But essentially, that's his way of putting and always has been. From what I understand, his putting stroke hasn't moved to that method.
No.
Whilst he was, you know, in order to
you already
use
kind of
SeeMore
used
putter,
it, yeah.
That's where he came.
Because certainly
works extremely well for him.
Yeah, because when you look at Zach Johnson, I mean, he does look. Yeah. Obviously not quite that exaggerated, but he does look like he's kind of holding the putter like that. And to be fair, certainly because this is the first time I've actually kind of used this putter as well, and certainly when I looked at it first time, I did imagine it would feel a little bit like that. But if you do that, then that's where you can see that red dot kind of come into play. So
the idea, Pete, is that every putter's built custom order, and everyone is built specific to the individual. So, you know, if we're using eye dominance factors that maybe predominantly, you know, we're a little bit right eye or, you know, a little bit left eye dominant, then those factors can change the way we view things. And this is one of the ways that we can actually adapt the putter, the ball position. All those factors can be honed in during a stroke session. So not just a lesson or a fitting, but a lesson as well. So the idea of the putter is that you can use that putter any way you want to use it, if you just like the look of it. But to really jump on its benefits, you want to get and hide the red dot, frame the shaft with the white lines, use the rifle scope technology, and then you are confident that you've set yourself up perfectly. Just go ahead and stroke.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the interesting thing that kind of strikes me about this, first of all. It's actually just getting settled and kind of really being super, super focused in actually kind of getting that nailed down. I don't know if that's something that, I don't know, have you had anyone saying that actually kind of distracts them a little bit when it's down?
What happens initially is that we can be
drawn into it. Yeah.
A really good term. Now, what I'd be inclined to say, if I was putting back towards the camera, I would line the ball up, get the ball set up perfectly, then go in with my line on the putter, and now I've covered the two major factors, which is where I want to go and the face angle, and then I don't have to worry too much about hiding the red dot. I can just get in there, hide the red dot, and go.
Stroke
I'm used to using them, so the key to it is pick your aim. I would be inclined to line the ball up.
Actually, I'm just kind of stroking these away, really.
But even blind aim, you're a little bit easier to line up. Because, you've nailed a couple of those quite simply. But the different materials.
Because that was the milled version.
This is the milled version. It's a stainless steel and milled. This is a cast version, and relatively similar. It's a slightly harder feel to it because it's because it's cast. But actually, a lot of players like that.
Well, did you say Johnson? This is the one that Johnson's actually using.
Yeah. So just like Zach, you can hole with them as well. His putting stats for the British Open were just ridiculous.
Silly, aren't they?
The amount of putts he holed in the last half a dozen holes were just superb, and obviously put himself in a position in the playoff to go and hold a couple more. So,
from the other videos we've been kind of, that would have gone in, speaking about the actual weighting in these as well. Just explain a little bit more.
Well, as you can see there, actually, what Pete's doing there is very, very simple to roll the putter both ways around, which means that the axis weight on the putter is constant and even.
Okay.
So we've got a toe hang here. I'd say around 60% of the weight is below the shaft, causing it to hang downwards.
Okay.
So a little bit above. But more importantly is this balance here. The weight of the face is equivalent to the weight of the metal that's behind or to the right of the shaft. So that's why it's so well balanced. And when you swing the putter then, it will stay balanced on the way back. It won't radically open or close or change. It's a putter that swings without compromise, and that's the thing I like about it. And it seems to work.
It doesn't seem to do too badly, does it?
So they start at £129, and the mill versions go up to into the hundreds, so the £250–300 mark. Essentially, it's a really good, simple way of getting lined up, getting yourself into the same position each time, not just in terms of the direction, but also ball position. If we're prone to moving the ball around a little bit, you'd see the red dot very, very quickly. So, your hands would be moving backwards and forwards. You'd feel the changes and see the changes actually before the feel kicked in. But, it's a very simple. They do different models as well. You can get your classic sort of, heel and toe bladey type putters, and they do mallet versions.
Okay.
As we showed, we have got, the larger headed versions now in the mini giants and the giant version, which is nearly 6 inches in width. Now, just to explain, that is an uncut length because every SeeMore putter is custom built. So there are certain putters that we have around for demo purposes, but also every putter is custom built. And typically, Nearly. Without a grip, that's not bad at all. Typically, a slightly thicker grip would work, I think, Pete.
Yeah, maybe.
We'd turn the putter around in about 3 or 4 days and get it to you. So if you came in early part of the week, you'd have it by the weekend. As long as we've got the heads in stock, we can make that putter up completely bespoke to you and have that in your hands within 3 or 4 working days.
God, it looks absolutely massive. Absolutely huge. No, that's good. I mean, it's interesting. Like I said, I mean, I've not kind of really seen kind of any real SeeMore reviews out there. So, guys, if you have been interested in this putter and you wanted to know a little bit more about it, hopefully that's been useful. Andy, thank you for talking me actually through it.
Pleasure.
You work with these every day, so it's good to get someone kind of an expert on them. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the description below for kind of more links to videos and kind of Andy's social links as well. And we'll see you down here next time, and I'll carry on having a little putt with that one, I think. Yeah, that seems to work quite well.